6 p.m. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister has underscored the government's commitment to facilitate investors in undertaking profitable business ventures in the country. The Crown Prince of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will arrive in Islamabad on Saturday on a two-day official visit to Pakistan. The President has conferred Nishani-e-Imtiaz military upon the Chief of the Defence Staff of Sri Lankan Armed Forces. In occupied Kashmir, a complete shutdown was observed today against the Indian designs to change the demography of the held territory. The fourth edition of the Pakistan Super League begins in Dubai tomorrow with a sparkling, spectacular opening ceremony. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has underscored the government's commitment to facilitate investors in undertaking profitable business ventures in the country. He was talking to the chairman, American-based Young Presidents Organization, Pascal Jerkin, in Islamabad today. Highlighting the huge potential of the country in various sectors of economy, the Prime Minister said tourism is one of the most attractive areas that has remained unexplored so far. Imran Khan said the government is focusing on improving ease of doing business and has introduced the most liberal visa policy, which is aimed at welcoming businesses and tourists to the country. Pascal Jerkin briefed the Prime Minister about the vast network of Young Presidents Organization across the world serving in various sectors of the economy. He appreciated the government's policy of opening up the country to foreign visitors and investors. The Crown Prince of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, will arrive in Islamabad on a two-day official visit to Pakistan on Saturday on the invitation of Prime Minister Imran Khan. The Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman holds important portfolios in the kingdom's government, including that of the Vice President of the Council of Ministers and the Defense Minister. The Crown Prince will be accompanied by a high-powered delegation, including members of the Saudi royal family, key ministers, and leading businessmen. This will be the first state-level visit, of the dignitary in Pakistan since his elevation to the position of the Crown Prince in April 2017. During his visit, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman will call on the President. He will also meet the Prime Minister and the Chief of the Army Staff. A delegation of Pakistan's Senate will also call on the Crown Prince to discuss ways to enhance parliamentary cooperation between the two countries. Meanwhile, the Council of Ministers of Saudi Arabia has decided to strengthen relations with Pakistan and other Asian countries. The cabinet authorized the ministers of energy, industry and mineral resources or their deputies to sign memoranda of understanding with the Pakistan side in the field of developing renewable energy projects, investment in the petrochemical and recycling and mineral resources sectors. In Pakistan, the business community is showing great enthusiasm on the visit of the Saudi Crown Prince. Talking to newsmen in Karachi today, the chairman, Federation of Pakistan Chambers of Commerce and Industry Businessman Panel, Mia Anjum Nisar, expressed the confidence that investment agreements to the tune of 20 billion American dollars would be signed during the visit. Anjum Nisar acknowledged the steady support extended by Saudi Arabia to Pakistan in its difficult times and said there is urgent need to strengthen the bilateral relations on trade front too. The President, Dr. Arif Alvi, has conferred Nishani-e-Imtiaz military upon the Chief of the Defence Staff of the Sri Lankan Armed Forces, Admiral Ravindra Chandrasiri Vijay Gunaratne, at a special investiture ceremony held at the Awan Sadr in Islamabad today. The Chairman, Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee General Zubair Mahmood Hayat and other senior officers were also present on the occasion. Later, the Chief of the Defence Staff, Sri Lankan Armed Forces, also called on the President, Dr. Arif Alvi, and discussed matters of mutual interest. Speaking on the occasion, the President emphasized that Pakistan attaches great importance to its relations with Sri Lanka. He said bilateral relations between the two countries have always been marked by mutual respect, understanding, and close cooperation. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi says the world is expressing confidence in Pakistan's policies, which is a success of the country. Talking to media in Islamabad today, he said the new government is opening the world for business and many international businesses have expressed interest to invest in the country. The minister said the Indian attempts to isolate Pakistan diplomatically have failed miserably. The Minister for Planning and Development, Makhdoom Khusro Bakhtiar, has asked the Chinese government to encourage the state-owned and private sector companies to explore investment opportunities in Pakistan. Talking to Chinese ambassador to Pakistan, Yao Xing, in Islamabad, he hailed the Chinese government for extending financial support to initiate pilot projects for poverty alleviation in Pakistan. The minister highlighted the need to expedite progress on Gwadar projects such as new international airport, hospital, vocational institutes, and power plants. He said these projects would create conducive environment for future investment. The Information Minister Fawad Chaudhry has announced the launch of a massive crackdown on those who use social media to propagate extremist narrative, addressing the closing session of the training workshop for parliamentarians at the Pakistan Institute for Parliamentary Services in Islamabad today. He said a mechanism to this effect has been prepared in consultation with the security agencies. The Information Minister regretted that certain elements to fake accounts are resorting to hate speeches and issuing edicts. He said those such elements will be brought to book. He said enforcement of relevant laws will be ensured at all costs. This is Radio Pakistan. Radio Pakistan's news and current affairs channel, in collaboration with the United Nations, organized a 2-hour special live show to mark the World Radio Day being celebrated across the world today, with the theme Dialogue, Tolerance and Peace. Addressing the event, the United Nations resident coordinator, Neil Bohne, described Radio Pakistan as the voice of Pakistan. He said the uniqueness of the public broadcasters such as Radio Pakistan is that it reaches out to everyone in their own language. In his welcome remarks, the Director News and Current Affairs, Javed Khan Jadoon, gave an overview of the technological advancements made by the national broadcaster in recent times. In occupied Kashmir, a complete shutdown was observed today against the Indian designs to change the demography of the territory by revoking Article 35A and 370 of the Indian Constitution. The shutdown will also continue tomorrow. The call for the strike was given by the Joint Resistance Leadership and supported by various political parties and organizations in the Hill Valley, including Jamaat-e-Islami, Kashmir Center for Social and Development Studies, and Kashmir Chamber of Commerce and Industry. All shops and business establishments were closed while the traffic was mostly off the road. The Indian Forces personnel were deployed in strength across the valley. Meanwhile, the Indian troops in the fresh act of state terrorism martyred 2 more Kashmiri youths during a cordon and search operation at Chadura area of Budgam district today. The 4th edition of the Pakistan Super League begins in Dubai tomorrow with the sparkling opening ceremony. The opening match of the event will be played between Islamabad United and Lahore Qalandars at 22:45 hours Pakistan Standard Time. And finally, the weather. Widespread rain, thunderstorm with gusty winds and snowfall over the hills is expected in Malakand, Hazara, Mardan, Rawalpindi, Gujranwala divisions, Islamabad and Kashmir during the next 12 hours. Rain is also expected at scattered places in Peshawar, Kohat, Lahore, Sargodha divisions and Gilgit-Baltistan, and isolated places in Sahiwal and Faisalabad division. Hailstorm is expected at a few places in Rawalpindi, Lahore and Gujranwala division. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link, facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official